So, question.
Yeah?
Does that mean that the little girl at the start of this chapter was Rosa?
Was Rosa?
Yeah. Talking to Beatrice, and not a younger Beatrice like we originally thought.
Yo.
Right?
But wait. Why would Rosa...
Because, I mean, they all lived on the island at some point.
But why would Rosa be with Beatrice?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible she had some kind of childhood connection to her.
But, like, none of the other kids knew about her.
Yeah. I mean, she was the youngest, and probably by the time she was, like, 9 or 10, they were probably, like, going to school and stuff. Or, I mean, we don't know how old she is in the original part, but, like... I mean, okay, let's be honest. These siblings are shitty people.
Yeah.
Do you really think they would, like, be invested in each other's lives that much?
No, probably not.
So, I mean, that's a possibility.
That could be it.
Something to think about. I don't know if it's true or not, obviously, but...
先ほどから呼んでおる。聞こえなんだか?
No?
そうであったか。すまぬ。
Wait. That sounds like Rosa. That's not the witch's voice. That's Rosa's voice.
Are you sure it's Rosa's?
It sounded like it.
ぼんやり考え事をしていた。
Doesn't it?
It doesn't sound like Rosa's, but it doesn't sound like the witch's either.
許せ。
良い天気だな。なるほど。陽気に心を奪われるのもわかるというもの。紅茶はここで飲むか?
わらわは何者なのか。
What?
今紅茶を持ってくる。
What the fuck is going on right now?
しばし待て。
Where are we? When are we? Who are we?
Who is she?
Who am I?
紅茶は良い。わらわの話に付き合え。
よかろう。
Kinzo had used the excuse of going to bring some black tea to try and interrupt the conversation for the time being. But this attempt had been very transparent. I sat in the garden chair and beckoned Kinzo to do the same. Kinzo sat down heavily, exaggerating his age. So this is from her perspective, whoever she is.
Yeah.
For a while, we sat, appreciating the silence.
わらわは何者なのか。この問いに今日まで答えてくれた者はおらぬ。
Is she... so she's... maybe that kind of refutes my original thought. Maybe she's the Beatrice that transitioned into the new Beatrice because she learned from the gray-haired woman who was also Beatrice.
Yeah, maybe.
な
ぜか皆目をそらしはぐらかす。そなたとは長い仲だ。わらわはそなたを無二の友であり、そしてだから
That's a father? What?
But I thought they were supposed to be lovers.
What is going on here?
わらわが何者であるか。
なぜにそのようなことが気になるのか。そなたはベアトリーチェ、この屋敷の主ではないか。それ以上の何を知りたいというのか。
わから
ぬ。なんだ。何が知りたいのか自分でもわからぬというのか。それは不可解な。若き日には 出口なき思考の迷路にて遊びたくなることもある。そなたの悩みもそれであろう。
Kinzo laughed as though it was a trivial matter. However, I couldn't help but feel that this behavior was nothing but another attempt to force me to stop my further questioning.
やはりそなたもそれを語ってはくれぬのか。
語ることなど何もない。そなたはベアトリーチェだ。それで十分ではないか。
いや違う。わらわが知りたいのは名前ではない。わらわが何者なのかだ。わらわは誰で、何で、いつからここにいて、そしていつまでここで日々を過ごせばよいのか。
やはり紅茶を持ってこよう。せっかくの陽気がもったいないとは思わぬか。
これは何の話だ。
Thanks, Battler.
どうやらお前の昔話のようだが。
そのようだな。まさかここまで遡るとは。
自分は誰なのか、えらく高尚な悩みをお持ちのようじゃねえか。
無理もないわ。当時のわらわは自分が何者なのか、何のために生きているのかを理解できなかった。
ま、誰でも思春期になると自分の生きる意味とは何ぞやみたいな哲学的な悩みに一度は囚われるものさ。
Forget puberty. That still happens to me.
That's in
お
life.
前にもそんな微笑ましい時期があっただけという話だろ。
わらわは生まれた時からその屋敷におった。そして屋敷の中だけで生きた。もちろん庭には出られたが、敷地はとても高い柵
Since the
で囲まれ
time
て
I
おり、
was born.
それを出ることはでき
This is the promised Neverland. Mansion surrounded by a giant fence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's being bred. Definitely.
Bred by who?
Good question. Kinzo? I don't know.
So you're saying
ず。
she's his
出てはなら
daughter?
ないと厳しく言われておった。
Well, okay. I had been in that mansion since the time I was born. This is not the Beatrice that Kinzo had an affair with.
So there are two Beatrices now.
Yes. Yes, there are. There are two Beatrices.
What the fuck is this?
I will say that right now. That's what I believe.
There are two Beatrices?
So far.
But what about Beatrice plus X?
I don't know. Maybe there's 18 Beatrices.
Oh god.
And no one on the island is actually real. It's all just Beatrice. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man. I'm just trying to live my life.
その外へは自らの意志ではたった一歩。
そりゃどういう意味だよ。
I mean, I thought it was pretty self-explanatory.
物心ついた時からずっとカゴの鳥だったって言いたいのか。
Despite all her rage.
そういうものだと思っていた。何しろ気づいた時からそういう生活だったから疑問にも思わなかった。
お前一体何者なんだ。
それよ、それこそわらわもまた望んだものだ。
どうせ人間ではなくて魔女でしたって言いやがるんだろ。
いや違う、
Mm.
まだ違う。
Mm.
いや、かつてそうだったと言うべきか。わらわは金蔵によって作られた人間によって作られた人間だ。
What?
Wait a minute.
this
She's not furniture. She's not. It can't be possible that she's Kinzo's furniture.
What do you mean?
She said she was constructed by Kinzo. Remember how Kinzo built Genji? Built Shannon and Kanon?
So what are you saying?
That Kinzo is using Beatrice as a way to teach a lesson to his family. And that she's actually in cahoots with him.
I don't know, because we see here, I was constructed by Kinzo. That doesn't mean furniture.
That's, yeah, not necessarily,
And
but
also
I mean, that's a weird word choice.
That could also be metaphorical. Like you said.
You mean like she was raised by Kinzo? Like, built up, constructed, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Rather than actually physically constructed?
Mm-hmm. Or like
It's
a
possible.
human built by a human. How are you to be a human built by another human? It means you're born of another human.
Right. But I just don't like the...
Maybe she's using
I don't like the wording.
constructed and built metaphorically, as like put it this way, when
It is possible, yeah.
so were you originally thinking that she's Kinzo's daughter?
No, not particularly.
Not particularly.
So do you think that's a possibility?
Well, like in the if she's been living in the mansion her whole life. I might be overthinking this.
Wait, so are you saying that she's the daughter of Kinzo and the gray-haired Beatrice?
I wasn't saying that, but that could be true. But like, okay, Kinzo hasn't told her who she is. A human built by a human. If you build something, is it something that... Okay.
This is getting good.
Breeding, right? If you're breeding something,
Right.
is this something that you particularly care about? Are raising with love?
I mean, it depends. Because, I mean, if you think about Shannon, Kanon, and Genji, like, Kinzo respects them for the most part,
Respects them.
but doesn't love them.
Put it this way. Built by a human built by a human, rather than, okay, say she is Kinzo's daughter, right?
Right.
Constructed by Kinzo, human built by a human. That means her birth... this might be a stretch. Her birth was one that wasn't involving emotion or love, meaning he didn't care about her as like a daughter. Built rather than born or raised. Being born or raised shows human attachment and emotion. Built is emotionless.
A very cold
term. Constructed by Kinzo, built by a human means like...
Okay. Yeah, so if she had, like, you know, the feelings that a child has towards their parents normally, if she had that, she would have used different language. Like, she would have used, I was, you know, birthed by Kinzo, or, well, born of Kinzo.
Or if, say, Kinzo didn't treat her like his daughter.
Then she wouldn't use that terminology. She would refer to stuff more coldly.
Constructed,
like this.
yes.
Interesting.
But I'm just even speculating that she's his daughter, you know?
Yeah, we don't even know.
We don't even know if this is even real. She could be like... We don't even know when this is happening either.
Yeah, we don't really... I mean, we know it's in the past. But the past...
Alright, I think I went on a tangent. Just forget everything I said.
No, don't forget it. I mean... Look, if people enjoy listening to us guess stuff wrong, then they've gotten plenty this episode.
That's true. That's very true.
So there's still a possibility that she is furniture. She is Kinzo's furniture, or she isn't. She's Kinzo's daughter, or she isn't. She's Kinzo's daughter by the gray-haired Beatrice that we saw at the beginning of the chapter, or she isn't.
Mm-hmm.
She is literally Schrodinger's Beatrice right
but,
now.
But we also said she was supposed to be Kenzo's mistress.
Right, but we also know that there's two people who look different from each other, very distinctly different from each other, named Beatrice.
The gray-haired
based on
person?
what we've seen.
That's true.
What we've been shown.
That's true.
So, there's still the possibility that
There could be two Beatrices.
was the mistress, and then their daughter they named Beatrice also.
It's true. Huh.
If that actually happened. But
speculation.
Yeah.
Speculation.
Let's keep rolling
Let's
and see
chill
what
it.
happens.
Chill out on the speculation.
A cage made of flesh. Flesh cage.
なんだよそりゃ。
A cage of what? Wait, so she's saying... Can you go back to that line?
Yeah. What is it? Tips?
Yes. Oh no,
Or
no,
logs.
logs. I was constructed by Kenzo, a human built like a human.
No, maybe I should call it a cage made of flesh.
A cage made of flesh.
Is she talking about her body is a
A cage made of flesh, but a cage for what?
a cage for who she actually is, which we don't know.
Interesting.
So is she saying that she's not human? Or is it like more metaphorical?
She might be like... I don't know. That's interesting. What the heck?
I don't like it, man.
Cage made of flesh.
Yeah, what the fuck's that
妙な
supposed to
話
mean?
を言い出しやがって。
どうせそなたは信じぬだろうがな。まずは聞け。わらわは千年を経た偉大なる魔女。
Okay, no, this is bullshit.
しかしある時、金蔵によって呼び出され、その秘術にて永遠の虜となるよう縛られた。
Huh.
I've stopped listening now.
そりゃ初耳
There's no
だ。
such thing as witches.
後ろ宮家で知られてる話では、お前はじい様に呼び出されて、悪魔の契約みたいなのを結んで、黄金を授けたってことになってるぜ。
うん。それは正しい。そしてわらわは黄金を授け、契約しかし、まあモテる女の辛いとこよな。金蔵はこともあろうか、わらわに恋をした。
じい様も金眼が進んでたんだろうよ。ついでに乱視だな。よりによってお前に惚れるとはよ。
That's mean, Battler.
まあわらわにとっては迷惑この上ない話よ。しかし人間の力とは恐ろしいものでな。あれは恐ろしい力を発揮してわらわをこの地へ釘付けにしたのだ。わらわが首を縦に振らぬ限り解放せぬと言ってな。なんとも強引な男よ。
すげえじゃねえかよ。じい様がオカルトかぶれなのは誰もが知るところだが、大魔女ベアトリーチェ様を釘付けにするほどの力があったとはな。へっ、バカバカしい。そんなおかしな話信じると思うか。
やはり信じる。
There's no such thing as witches, so I don't believe it either.
俺が信じるのは、お前が森の中の秘密屋敷に隠居していたって事実だけだ。お前こそが六軒島の19人目なんだろう。
But she's dead, apparently.
そなたの想像通り、ここは六軒島の森深く、外界からは見つけることもかなわぬ隠し屋敷。その名もクワドリア。
Nine Birds Retreat.
そういや、ゲストハウスの正しい名はトライアンだって聞いたな。
Visitors Retreat. Is there a significance to 9 guests? I mean, it's half of 18, but...
I'm not sure.
なるほど。ネーミングセンスは近いな。
Guardian.
そして、お前はそこに隠居していたじい様の愛人。そうだな。
愛人というのは正しくない。金蔵の片思いであったと言うべきだろう。先ほども話したであろう。あれが勝手にわらわに惚れた。そしてわらわに求愛したが、それをわらわは拒む。
Okay, so probably not his daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not.
わらわをこの隠し屋敷へ閉じ込めたのだ。いや、屋敷に閉じ込めたというのは正しくないか。この体に閉じ込めたというべきか。
So he made a human body for her to inhabit, and that's kept her rooted to Rakenjima?
最後が何を言ってるのかわかんねえぜ。
どうせそなたはバカにして聞かぬであろう。何しろ魔女も魔法も信じぬという。語れど聞く耳を持たぬというならば、それを口にするは愚の骨頂だ。
信じるかどうかは俺が判断するぜ。聞
Continue
か
the
なきゃ
damn
話も
story.
進まねえしな。話せよ。お前の昔話を。
Here we go. Or not.
金蔵はわらわに求愛を拒まれたが、それ式でへこたれる男ではない。どうあってもわらわの首を盾に振らせたかった。わらわをこの屋敷へ閉じ込め、わらわを口説き落とそうと永遠の時間を費やしたのだ。
強引なやつだな。しつこい男は嫌われるだろう。
求愛に応えるかどうかは別にして、男をそこまで必死にさせるのは、まあ女としてそう不愉快ではない。しかしわらわは決して首を盾には振らなかった。
This is a nice bonding time for the two of them.
なんとかその戒めから逃れようとしたが、あれの結界は強固で破れなかった。
それで
さまざまな抵抗を試みた結果、金蔵の結界から逃れるには肉の体を捨てるほかないという結論に至った。
Does she look like Rosa? They both have blonde hair.
A little bit. Same kind of facial structure too, but I always thought she looked more like Ava than Rosa. But
肉体というものは魔法を語る上でとても制約の多い器なのだ。
肉の体を捨てる？
did she get Rosa to kill her so she could escape her cage of flesh?
What?
She's
That sounds
talking-
like suicide.
I mean, yeah, but like,
なんだよそれ。幽体離脱みたいなものか？
because Rosa's talking about how she died, but obviously she's still around in some way.
まあそんなものと考えればよい。しかしわらわは精霊ではない。魔女ではあっても、もともとは肉の体で生まれ落ちた人間だ。
So we have established that witches are always born human, or at least the ones that we've seen are born human and become witches. They like
Become witches. There's no such
transfer.
thing as witches, dude.
そのわらわにとって肉体を捨てるというこ
They're
と
just
は
pretending to be witches.
right. It's really just glorified cosplay, you know.
死を意味するほどではないにしても、それに準ずる覚悟が必要だ。
それはつまり自殺することでしか解放されないと決意したって意味なのか？
自殺ではない。あくまでも肉の体を捨てるだけのことだ。
Did she do some ritual with Rosa?
魂だけになるのは心もとない。
Did she
魂は
switch
肉の
bodies with
体を
Rosa?
得れば太陽の強い風に絶えずさらされてしまう。それによって吹き散らされないように自らを維持するのはわらわとて容易なことではない。できることなら避けたい最後の手段だった。しかし 金蔵の結界から逃れるにはそれ何しろわらわは自由人。金蔵の生が果てるまでカゴにて飼われるのはごめんというもの。
I couldn't understand the story Beato kept going on about throwing away her body of flesh as anything more than suicide. Grandfather persistently courted her, and to escape from that, she chose her own death?
それで自殺したってのか？何を言ってやがる。当のお前はそこでのんびりガーデンチェアに腰掛けてるじゃねえか。
そうだ、それこそが金蔵によって与えられた新たな檻だったのだ。
檻？この屋敷のことか。
There's a song called Cage.
There is. Okay, sorry. We're gonna do this for a sec.
What?
Kinzo, according to Beatrice,
Yes.
made a new cage for her.
When?
I'm guessing that after she committed suicide, quote unquote. I'm guessing that new cage is this form that we see her in. And
Okay.
that's why she's so confused about who she is or what she is in that scene we saw earlier. Because she's just entered a new flesh cage.
Wait. So you're saying we saw her when she was talking to Kenzo, we saw her after she committed suicide?
Yes. This is all going by what she's telling us. I'm not either confirming or denying
Or
witches.
Or that was when she was talking to Kenzo, she didn't know who she was. She didn't know who she was. That might have happened before she committed suicide.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it just kind of makes more sense for her to be disoriented and confused after entering a new body.
Okay.
If this is what actually happened.
Okay. But,
so like.
But if you notice, she hadn't just entered a new body. She said she had been living there since she grew up.
Right, but that doesn't mean that she had been living there. So
If she had known she had been
so she wasn't given a new adult body to be transferred into?
What are you saying?
So that means that she was born and lived a full life to get to where she is now in a new body.
You've lost me.
Okay, alright, don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's alright. I'm also, when I'm talking to you, I'm also trying to like spell it out for myself too. So
okay.
there's probably some flaws in there. Okay, she's explaining it.
それでもなお逃すつもりはなかったのだ。いやいや恐ろしいや。普通は片思いの女が死んでみせれば100年の恋も冷めるであろうに。だからこそあれも魔術師の端くれなのだ。
さっぱりわからねえ魔女っ子トークで煙に巻くな。
Which girl talk?
なんだってんだ。
金蔵は魂となったわらわすらも逃さなかったということだ。
What did he do?
And her soul was transferred into this body that we see her talking to Balor in now.
人
That's
間
what I'm
の
saying.
思いというやつは恐ろしい。これほどまで
That
の
means
魔
that the
力を
original
発揮する
Beatrice was the gray-haired woman, and then she,
So the gray-haired woman
the
committed
gray-haired woman
suicide?
committed suicide. Her soul left, and Kinzo, according to this story, assuming that witches and magic are real,
Alright.
used magic to transfer her soul into this new vessel. Possibly with new memories.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying now. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Or at least
You're not crazy.
not too crazy.
No.
死者の魂をつなぎ止めるなど、それを専門に弓道する魔術師でもおいそれと至れぬ境地よ。わらわはそれを知るからこそ 金蔵の恐るべき魔力にその
Oops.
そして
Sorry,
金蔵
Beato.
はわらわの魂を捕まえだが魂を捉えておく檻は鉄でも鉛でも作れない。ただ一つを除いて。
なんだよ。
Someone who's devoid of a soul?
魔法の檻だとでも言い出すのかよ。
That pavilion or whatever it is looks like a cage.
It does.
違う。わらわやそなたのようなこの肉の体だ。肉と血でできた檻だけが魂をこの世につなぎ止める。金蔵はわらわの魂をわらわと瓜二つに作り上げた肉の檻に。
要約するとこういうことか。じい様がしつこく求愛するんで嫌になり自殺したがうまく死にきれなかったってことだろう。まりくどい言い方しやがってからに。
いや違う。わらわはホムンクルスの種子に魂を閉じ込め
I was gonna use that word, homunculus.
What is a homunculus?
It's like a manufactured human.
But this is way before any kind of stem cell, like, in vitro fertilization kind of thing, technology-wise, so...
試験管の中より生まれ入れたのだ。
はあ
What?
Damn.
バカバカしい。そんなのあるわけねえだろ。
生命を生み出す奇跡すらも金蔵は成し遂げたのだ。
Someone call Aldous Huxley.
わらわの魂を閉じ込める檻にするためだけにな。己の恋心だけでこれほどの魔力を見せるとはつくづく恐ろしいやつよ。
She's smiling as she
もう
says
さ
that.
すがにバカバカしくなってきたぜ。好きなだけ言ってろってんだ。俺は何も信じねえぜ。勝手にやってやがれってんだ。
I feel like you should keep hearing her out.
なんだその不愉快な態度は。
最初は何か重大なヒントが隠されているだろうと多少の興味を示したが、聞けば聞くほどおかしな話になっていく。魔女を否定するゲームのはずなのに、いつの間にか魔女話を鵜呑みにさせられていく気がするぜ。
He's got a point.
悪いがこれ以上耳を貸す気はねえな。勝手に好きなだけほざいてろよ。耳クソでもほじってるからよ。
She doesn't look too happy.
No. When I started showing a cold attitude, Beato acted unusually discouraged. Of course, her expression was still brazen, but I had the feeling that I was able to catch a glimpse of loneliness because I hadn't found the story of her past interesting. In that really easy to understand expression of hers. For some reason, that slight reaction made her seem pitiful. So even though I kept my couldn't care less attitude, I decided to humor her slightly. Damn it, even though she's an irritating witch, I'm still weak against her because her chromosomes are XX.
ま、信じる気は毛頭ねえけどよ。続けろよ。お茶菓子代わりに聞いてやるぜ。
わらわの身の上話が茶化扱いとはな。そこまでこき下ろされてまでのこのこ語ると思うか。
Oh, she's actually offended.
Yeah. After I made fun of her, Beato reacted a little sensitively.
Just a little.
It looked like even though making fun of people was her specialty, she was horrible at being made fun of by other people. Can dish it out, but she can't take it.
That's what I was just about to say.
Just then, my cup of black tea suddenly made a sound, surprising me.
It was Crash's screams.
新しい生命の檻に吹き込まれました。それはつまりお嬢様が再び人間として生を受けたということです。
Before I had realized it, the demon butler had appeared and taken my cup and was adding more black tea to it.
ロノウェ、もうその話はよい。こやつはバカバカしくて危険というでな。わらわもバカバカしくて話す気にもならぬ。
Do you think she's just playing up being sensitive to the issue? I think
Maybe.
she actually is.
She might be.
Would be interesting if she was, because then she'd be showing weakness, which she usually doesn't do. Unless she's backed into a corner.
Alright, so that gray-haired woman was the original Beatrice. She committed suicide or something and became this Beatrice.
Yes. Ginzo somehow managed to, like he did the furniture, create a vessel for her soul to go into.
Okay.
And somehow Rosa is tied up into the original Beatrice's death.
Okay.
Not this one, but that's why she's so confused. Like, Beatrice's dead, but she doesn't know that a new one was created.
Okay. Okay.
It's all there. Don't
Okay.
worry.
新しいクッキーを今焼かせているところでございます。
Cookies. Just make me hungry.
それまでお茶菓子代わりにお嬢様の昔話がちょうどいいかと思いまして。
Poo coo coo. Everyone has a very distinct laugh in this thing.
もうわらわの話は良いというのに。揃って不愉快な奴らだ。わらわは席を外すぞ。
I'm taking my bowl and going home.
ロノウェ、給仕を済ませたらとっとと下がるのだぞ。バトラと無駄話などするでないぞ。
かしこまりました。努力いたします。
Wow. Beato's confusing female short temper took hold of her, and she turned her body into gold butterflies, scattered and disappeared. I really like the idea of her showing some kind of emotion, but at the same time, I'm really worried that it's just an act. You know?
Yeah.
After that, only Ronove and the scent of the black tea were left.
なんだか俺が怒らせたみたいで気分が悪いぜ。
ご自覚があられるようですので、これ以上申し上げることはございませんよ。
ちょっと待てよ。とどめを刺したのはお前だろうが。
はて、何のことやら。お砂糖とミルクはいかがですかな。
ミルクだけでいいぜ。あとお茶菓子も欲しいな。
クッキーが焼けるにはまだ時間がかかります。
Just give me my cookies, man.
チャカの代わりがあるって言ったぜ。
Kraus
かし
cookies.
こまりました。ご清聴をいただけるのでしたら続きをお話しいたします。
Oh, Renove is continuing Beatrice's story.
Even though she said not to.
ホムンクルスがなんとかって言ったな。一応は知ってるぜ。あれだろ。
Yes, that thing.
Exactly.
錬金術だかで作り出せ。人造人間のことだろ。
It's basically what I said,
Alchemy.
but not the alchemy part. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
お嬢様の魂はホムンクルスに閉じ込められ、再び赤子となって生を受け、この世に。しかし
Interesting.
赤子でございますから、金蔵様が愛を語ろうともそれは
So we had to wait for her to grow up again?
まさかじい様はその赤ん坊をこの隠し屋敷に同じ年に成長するまで閉じ込めたってのか。
Yo. Dude. What the fuck? That's kind of like... That's like slavery.
Yeah.
That's kind of like... I mean, he didn't...
はい、
Oh.
そのまさかでございます。しかし魂は同じといえど、人間の魂はその器に強く影響を受けます。お嬢様はかつての記憶をすべて失われ、ごく普通の人間の少女として成長されました。
So that's why she doesn't remember who she is or what.
それが、そこのガーデンチェアに座ってるベアートだってのか。
はい、その通りでございます。まさに瓜二つに成長なされました。
Completely identical. So does that rule out the gray-haired Beatrice thing?
Maybe. Unless she grew white hair.
魔女としての力は持ち合わせておりません。あ あくまでも人間としてのお嬢様なのです。
Beato, who was sitting in the garden chair looking up at the sky, asked that same question again. She asked who she was. The meaning of those words was finally starting to click. She couldn't understand why she was living here, all locked up. Grandfather had seized Beatrice's soul, shut it up in a body of flesh, and then shut that up in a hidden mansion. However, since she had lived here since the time she was born, she couldn't even understand who she was, or why she lived shut up in there. Chotomate. Who would take such a stupid story seriously? Why don't I change my interpretation? Essentially, couldn't it be something like this? Grandfather met Beatrice. He then fell in love with her and courted her, but she didn't nod her head in agreement. And so he got angry, shut her up inside this hidden mansion. Beatrice tried to escape, but no matter what she did, she couldn't succeed. So she finally chose her own death. And then... maybe there was a girl that looked just like Beatrice. No, a baby. And Grandfather raised this child with care. But maybe Grandfather didn't view this child as his daughter. So going back to the terminology, shut my soul up once more into a cage of flesh. Those words probably meant that he didn't view this kid as her child, but as her reincarnation. Maybe that's what it's meant. Maybe that's what it meant. If you interpret it that way, even a story that weird might make a little sense. No. This might be some bullshit Beato cooked up to confuse me. That's what I was thinking. As if I could accept any of this. In the first place, Kuwadorian, was it? There's no proof whatsoever that a hidden mansion actually existed. Couldn't this be something she just fabricated on the spot?
Yo!
Oh shit. So he can use the red text too?
What the fuck?
Aka. Runaway used the red to say that Kuwadorian actually existed. Did that mean the same thing as the red Beato used? Oh, oops, sorry.
Oh no, she's not gonna be happy.
Isn't she like omniscient? Can't she like see everything that's going on?
She ran off somewhere. She probably isn't paying attention.
Beato, who knew I would try to trip her up, had grown extremely cautious when using red. To think that Runaway could also use that red. Of course, it's the red of a crafty man. I don't know how far I can accept it. But anyway, I might be able to get some hint out of it.
このクアドリアンの庭でくつろいでるベアトとさっきのじい様との会話は真実なのか？
はい、真実です。かつて実際にこの場所でお二人はこのような会話をなされました。
Actually had a conversation like that in this place. Notice he didn't say they actually had that conversation.
助かるぜ。さらに赤で頼む。あいつホムンクルスから生まれたなんて言いやがったが、そんな非科学的な魔法的存在。
その問いかけにはお答えできません。理由はステイルメイトになるからでございます。
ステイルメイト？なんだそりゃ。
チェスの用語で千日でのパーペチュアルと同様にそれ以上のゲーム進行が不可能になる宣言です。これは千日手とは正反対で指し手がなくなるある種の手詰まりの状態を指します。パーペチュアルに同じでチェスではこれを引き分けにしております。ただしお嬢様とバトラ様のゲームでは引き分けがございません。ですのでステイルメイトになる質問には赤でお答えすることができないのです。
よくわからねえこと言って煙に巻いてるが、つまりホモンクルスなんて魔法的存在が実在するって赤で言えないからごまかしてるだけなんだろ。
仮に私が赤で魔女は実在すると言ったら、バトラ様はどういたしますか？
それを信じるか信じないかで俺たちは大喧嘩してるんじゃねえかよ。それを言われちまったら身も蓋もないぜ。ゲームオーバーだ。
Can we go back to the epitaph real quick?
Sure.
You travel down it, you will see a village, and that village look for the shore the two speak of. There the key to the golden land sleeps. You who laid hand upon the key must journey as follows to the golden land. In the first twilight, blah blah blah. The journey ends and you shall reach the home of the gold. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall behold the golden land's gold, one resurrects all the dead people's souls, one even revives all the love they possessed, and one for the witch to eternally rest. Rest in peace, my beloved Beato. I don't know. I was just trying to think of, because we always tend to forget the epitaph.
Yes.
So I was just trying to think of it in terms of what's been told to us so far.
Yes.
But I can't really make any connections.
Yes.
So.
Neither can I.
Well, we'll come back to that.
魔女は存在すると赤で申し上げたなら、しかしバトラ様はその理由が示されない以上、それを受け入れないでしょう。しかし赤で語られる以上、反論の余地もなく証拠も示されない。この場合、バトラ様は敗北を認められないにもかかわらず、反論の手がなく手詰まりとなってしまいます。チェックメイトされていないにもかかわらず、次なる指し手が存在しない。バトラ様が次の一手を打てない以上、お嬢様に手番が回ってくることはなく、ゲームはそこで永遠に止まってしまう。
Yeah, but she's endless. It's fine.
その結果、お嬢様があなたを屈服させることもできない。これが手詰まりの状態です。それを回避するため、このような形になるご質問には赤でお答えすることができないのです。
早い話が、身も蓋もない質問は禁止だと、そう言いたいわけだな。まあそりゃそうだよな。赤で魔女は実在するって言われちまったら。
ご理解いただけて助かります。他の形の質問でしたらご協力できるかと思いますよ。
奴がはぐらかした副賞要求には答えられるか。この島の人数だ。
お嬢様が保留されている副賞要求にももちろん答えられ、お嬢様の家具でございますので、出過ぎた真似はできかねます。
Ronovan made an exaggerated gesture trying to act like a loyal retainer. This guy's so shameless.
一瞬でも使えるやつと思ったのによ。諦めて他の質問を探すか。そうだ、大事なことを確認するのを忘れてた。これはベアとの思い出話なんだろ。いつの話なんだ。まさか現在ってことはないだろ。
はい、ここは1967年の世界。
1967. So that is what? The game takes place in 86, right? So that's a little under 20 years?
19 years.
19 years.
19 years.
Interesting.
Hold on. So, Beato, that Beato in the chair, is 19 years ago, right?
Yes.
How old does she seem at that time?
She doesn't look 19.
She looks younger than that?
She looks older. Like, to me, she looks like she's in her mid to late 20s.
Mid to late 20s. So that means she would have had to have been born in 1947. Right?
To be at that age that she is there.
To be at the age that she is there.
Yeah.
But 1947 is how many years before 1986, 39. How old is Rosa?
Probably not 39. She's probably like in her early 30s, late 20s also. So, I mean, it works with Kinzo, I think.
So, you're saying the Rosa was involved in her suicide?
But it couldn't have been because she wouldn't have been born.
Yes.
Fair enough.
19年前の世界でございます。
Oh. Isn't that crazy? 20 years between... Almost 20 years between 1986 and 1967, and we think of those as two just completely, like, technologically different times.
60s and 80s?
Yeah.
That is pretty different. I mean,
like, you think about Vietnam in 67
1999
versus,
was so much different from 2019.
Yeah, also true. It's like a very... It doesn't sound like 20 years doesn't really sound like a lot of time, but within the last century, it has become a long time.
Put it this way: there will not be. There's a pretty huge gap in like advancements between 1967 and 1986. There's also a pretty huge gap between 1999 and 2019.
Yeah.
But between, let's say, 2010 and 2030, I don't think there's going to be that big of a gap.
You think it's going to slow down?
It's already slowed down. I think we've almost hit maximum capacity.
Kind of feels like it.
It does.
But at the same time, that's what people in 1967 were saying.
That's true, but
I feel like
we really haven't gotten anything. Like, okay.
There's like a few new like frontiers,
but not really that many.
We could improve space travel. Bunch of like renewable energy things.
It's like 1999 smartphones hadn't come around. No smartphones around, but there's not really anything to go off of that.
Yeah.
Unless we just haven't thought of it now, but like I still don't think so, because like in order to think of something, you need to think of a use something might have.
Right.
And there's not really anything like you could say, "Oh, I wish I had this device." Other than like fucking time travel, dude.
Yeah. That's a really good point actually.
But, like, I don't think that's possible. Anyways. Or teleportation. Teleportation would be really cool.
I have dreamed since I was a little kid of owning a portal gun.
Yes. Well, I not this. I want, like, a teleportation device where you could just step on it. Like, beam me up, Scotty.
Like a transporter?
Like a transporter in Star Trek. Like, you actually go, walk into the transporter, you choose your destination, and it transport across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Well, you know what's interesting about transporters is that it's actually a moral issue, because it scrambles and rearranges your molecules. So, like, are you actually
something could get fucked up
when you come out the other side?
Mm-hmm.
You know. But anyway.
Yeah.
Let's go through the story one more time. Man, I wish Matt and John would stop going off on random tangents. I wonder if it couldn't be something like this. Grandfather had a person with whom he fell in unrequited love called Beato, and he confined her in this hidden mansion and continually courted her. That sounds really bad. But she was stubborn and didn't say yes. Eventually, she grew pessimistic about being unable to escape from here, and probably committed suicide. And then, her soul was put in a homunculus and... No, if I accept that, it's the same as accepting the witch. I can interpret that part like this. She probably left a daughter behind when she died. That talk about the soul being put in a new body probably meant that grandfather raised that child believing it to be the reincarnation of Beatrice.
Who was the father?
I don't know. It can't be Kinzo.
What do you mean?
Because she denied him. And she said he was very adamant about getting her consent.
Okay.
So I find it hard to believe that he...
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
In that case, Beato must have existed on this island for at least the last 19 years as the 19th person, and then,
is now terrorizing everybody.
混乱してきたぜ。
yeah, pretty much.
いずれにせよ、憶測の域を出ない。確実に赤で言えることは、1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に人間としてのベアトリーチェが存在した。
It's probably very important.
それだけだ。
その通りでございます。1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷に人間としてのベアトリーチェ様が存在した。
ああ、サンキュー。助かるぜ。
おめでとうございます。これでバトラ様の19人目の駒はその存在がはっきりしました。
Oh! He has proven the existence of the 19th person.
バトラ様が熱望された18人以外に罪をなすりつけられる
Rosa said she killed her.
19人目の人間、
Right.
So
いかなる罪をもなすりつけることの
At least there was.
生贄の
But
羊
but that doesn't mean that she was still around when the family conference was going on.
yes.
So
それがお嬢様とは実に愉快。
I don't like that he's like helping Battler. That makes me really anxious. Runaway laughed indiscreetly. Somehow I didn't like his phrasing, so I didn't feel like laughing along with him.
そうだ。ローザおばさんが言った。ベアトリーチェは死んだ。
Yeah.
私が殺した。どういう意味なんだ。
それは私の口から語るよりも実際に顛末をご覧になった方が早いでしょう。
We about to see this?
少々時計を進めましょう。
Runaway pulled a stylish pocket watch from his pocket and made to wind the crown.
So the first Beatrice committed suicide, and the second one was killed by Riza.
Apparently. Also, is Runaway's pocket watch the thing in the loading screen? The clock?
I don't think so.
Like when they advance time in the loading screen, they're advancing time in the game?
It might be.
That'd be interesting. As soon as he did, I saw gold butterflies gather behind Runaway's back and take the form of a person.
What?
Was it Beato? I quickly realized that it was someone else. Nice. It was her.
Amadeus?
That oldest sister of the Seven Stakes who loved tormenting me more than anything else.
Lucifer? Amadeus?
Something I forget. If I don't think myself lucky to see that sexy ass, I won't be able to play along with their torture game.
Lucifer.
まだこちらにおられましたか。ベアトリーチェ様が至急お呼びです。
はて、地球のどのようなご用意が少々バトラ様とのおしゃべりが過ぎたようですね。それではバトラ様、私、
Yeah, get out of here.
これでどうか引き続きお嬢様とのゲームをお楽しみください。
Is she gonna give him a scolding for...
For telling him too much? Maybe.
せいぜい楽しむぜ。あんたはベアトより話が弾むからな。赤も気前よく使ってくれるしよ。ぜひまた
Almost too
おしゃべりに来いよな。
That's Lusama.
私めもこう見えてもお嬢様の家
Yep.
具、お嬢様が望まぬことはできません。
Yep.
私が語った赤は本来ならお嬢様が自らの口で語るべきもの。へそを曲げてしまわれたお嬢様に代わって
やっぱ俺へそを曲げてたよな。
So she wasn't faking it.
Apparently, at least according to Runaway. Seeing me and Runaway incomprehensibly hitting it off, that Seven Stakes chick cocked her head slightly.
ロノウェ様、ベアトリーチェ様をお待たせしております。お急ぎを。
ええ、直ちに参ります。それではバトラ様、後ほどようやく仲良くなってきましたね。やはり 良い友
Wait,
人
what was
に
that?
なれる気が
She
しま
you
す
again. Remember?
That was from this, right?
Yes.
When who said that?
Badler, I think.
Oh, as one of his weird
Yeah.
Yeah,
She you again.
that's funny.
ベアトの陰口仲間ってことならな。
ロノウェ様。
はいはい、それでは
Come on, I want to hear more from Rosa.
So do I.
Dun-dun-dun.
Maybe it was because she really didn't like seeing him act friendly with me, or maybe it was because she had really been told to hurry. The Seven Stakes Babe bellowed sharply at Ronove, and he laughed foolishly and disappeared as if running away.
Dun, 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 dun,
煉
dun.
獄の七食いが長女のこの私がこの程度の用事で呼びつけられるなんて。ベアトリーチェ様もこの程度なら他の暇そうな妹たちに言いつければいいのに。
Oh, looks like some trouble in paradise.
姉ちゃん。腹減ってんならクッキーでも食えよ。最後の一枚をくれてやるぜ。
ふん、
Oh.
気が利くじゃない。なら一ついただこうかしら。
I lightly pushed the snack plate with the last remaining cookie on it over to her.
ありがとう。
Oh. Rip.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was gonna happen. As though coming as a replacement for the period at the end of the sentence, a sharp sound pierced the table. The nails on 3 of her fingers had sharply extended and were stuck, a hair's breadth into the gaps between my fingers on the hand I had used to push the plate. It had happened in an instant, so for a while I didn't even realize that her fingernails had grown. The tips of those sharp nails were like blades with a red manicure. The spaces between the bases of my fingers prickled. Those razor-like blades were sticking sharply into the back of my hand and into the spaces between my fingers. By those 3 blades, my carelessly outstretched right hand was not even permitted to shake, and all I could do now was allow a single line of cold sweat to drip down.
姉ちゃん、そろそろ爪を切った方がいいぜ。
ルシファーよ。それが誇り高き私の名。ベアトリーチェ様にお仕えする名誉ある家具。煉獄の七食いの長女。他の面汚しな愚昧どもとはわけが違うの。それに見合った敬意を示さないと。
どう後悔するんだか。俺には見当もつかねえぜ。
バカな子ね。そんなに遊んでほしいの？そんなに忘れられないの？私の悔いを思いっきり奥の奥までねじ込んでたっぷりえぐって楽しませてあげるわ。
That is what she said.
クソったれ。いつか押し倒して同じセリフ言ってやるぜ。
And that is what he said! Okay,
あらそう？
this is a good one.
楽しみにしてるわね。
Oh my god.
I'll be looking forward to that then? Is that a question? Does she not know? Nice.
F.
F's in the chat.